Soda Springs, 77 miles. We're stinky. We should definitely look into using some clothes, I guess. Especially for Roy Boy and Noah get the boat. We'll save this other set just in case. I'm carrying some banjos and some other things. Oh, a grinding sound rings out as one of the wagon wheels jams in place. Closer inspection reveals that the sand has wound its way inside the bearing and worn down the axle. While nothing is broken completely this time, the party should consider repairing the damage before things get worse. Who should attempt to repair the wagon? Well, we all kind of suck at this, but let's have Noah take a chance at it. Hey, all right. Good job, Noah. It is hard work, but Noah get the boat, repairs some of the damage to the wagon. You mean he repaired all the damage to the wagon? Oh no, there's still a little there. Well, we've got a ton of these, so we'll go ahead and use one of those. We'll continue on our way. Let me click on these coyotes. We've got an abandoned and a dilapidated campsite here. An old, wind-blown campsite lays silently in the dust. The previous owners have left equipment and firewood that could be salvaged to cook a health-restoring meal. We'll definitely set up camp. Let's cook. The trail cooking requires specific skill set. Talented wayfinders have an advantage due to their knowledge of trail flora and fauna. Any chef who would inevitably bring a bit of their personality into a meal. We'll let Hannah Montana. She's got a 4. Oh, that went really well. Wow, somebody got really tired. Hannah Montana, who's kind, expends a great deal of effort cooking an incredible, enormous meal for the party. The meal is hearty and nutritious, helping to recover the party's health. All right, we're on our way. Come dawn, the party gets ready to move on. So either way we go, we're going to run into one of those dudes. Sun beating down on us. There goes the tumbleweed. Oh, there's some more coyote. Oh, good lord. A loud crack sounds out as the wagon runs over a sharp and heavy rock. One of the wheels has been warped by the impact. The wheel could be repaired manually, but it will take some time. We'll definitely repair it. Or try to, anyway. We'll send Noah get the boat back there yet again. Hey, he did. Excellent. We're going to have to repack, because that is a lot of food. Oh, our paces are... We'll go steady until we get to Soda Springs. Oh, it's starting to rain. See, you just have kind of less control over this because you don't get to pick what you're going to do. You can't just stop and rest all the time. Joseph Holman, stay back, citizens. There's been a murder most foul. Oh, I see you're that group the captain's got hunting us down. Yeah. Had you pegged the minute I saw you. Detective's intuition is weird. I could use an assistant on this case. Very well, if you help me track down the killer, I'll return to the captain as soon as I'm able. Sure. Excellent. With your help, I'll have this case solved in no time at all. I've compiled a list of clues, suspects, and pieces of evidence. Simply tell me what you wish to inspect or let me know when you're ready to make an accusation. Let's get an overview. Everyone present is part of the wagon train heading to Oregon, with the exception of Quill, who only arrived yesterday. The others have been together for the better part of a month now. Some have been known each other longer, some less. Until now, there's been no infighting. Well, I feel like Quill is a red herring. So that's probably a no-go on him. Our victim is one Elias Farthing. He funded the expedition and was its de facto leader. He wasn't well-loved, but as far as I could tell, he also didn't have any explicit enemies. All right, so the first kill is Elias. He's got Fart in his name. For the most part, their journey seems to have been normal, except that they're being harassed by thieves a lot more than usual. These thefts have been targeted and efficient. It's somehow that somebody on the inside has been helping them somehow. But right there eliminates the guy that's new. I compiled a list of clues. Okay. Suspect. Taking the liberty of compiling some information on each of our suspects. Each suspect also provides a writing sample, so we could compare it to the note we found at the scene. I watched as each wrote their sample so I could see which hand they favor. Just let me know when you'd like to learn more. Oh, it's just like Shadows of Doubt. We've been practicing this. Quill Peabody. Quill Peabody is a reporter, one of those academic types. Certainly not the kind of man I'd pick as a killer, but you never really know. He doesn't seem like a bad sort, just timid, I'd say. He reported he came here to speak with the deceased. I know they conversed briefly before Elias perished, but you're better off asking Quill about the details. Sorry, not much to go on. He's not a long-term member of the train, which makes him a bit of a mystery. Still don't reckon he's got murder in his blood, though. Oh, right. As to physical attributes, the man wrote his sample right-handed and wear large boots. Okay. Right-handed. And big boots. Being a reporter, we have plenty of samples of his handwriting, though not an exact match to the scene. Samples were closest. Okay. Gareth Farfield. I thought it was Garfield. Gareth Farfield was the manservant of the deceased, his butler, if you will. As far as I could tell, the man has been nothing but loyal up until now. But who knows what could have transpired between the two of them. Gareth wrote his sample with his left hand. Oh, so that's okay. So Quill was right-handed and has big boots. Gareth is left and has an average. There's only one. That's the only fellow who seems distraught that the murder occurred at all. That doesn't involve him, but his reaction strikes me as genuine. Look, he's still a suspect as everyone present, but who ever heard of a butler being responsible for a murder? Guess that game's not out. Kellogg Hardin. Yeah, let's see what old Kellogg's got. Kellogg Hardin isn't the kind of man you want watching your back or your front. If I'm honest, he's bad news. He's garnered some infamy around here. Never killed a man, far as I know, but done all sorts of bad besides. He's a prime suspect for thefts. He's also a long-term enemy of Marshall. The two have been at odds for years, as far as I can tell. Okay, so he doesn't like Marshall. As to his physical characteristics, he claims to be ambidextrous. Well, that doesn't help us at all. And average size boots. And though he's equally skilled with each hand, his handwriting sample was horrible. Not sure if he's just an ugly writer or he's faking it. Okay. Gurney. Let's look at old Gurney. Gurney Goldman is the sort of fellow who would bow to his enemies rather than kill them. Never met a man richer than this, at least financially. He's not without problems, of course. Wealth is both the source of his power and his ever-present demon. Old Gurney wrote his sample right-handed. Okay. And is small-footed. I guess this is a big issue. His writing sample was neat, but not quite a match. This isn't the kind of man who gets his hands dirty, but if he had to, he's definitely of the backstabbing sort. Hard to say how he's involved exactly. All right, that leaves Marshall. Marshall Brennan, only really a suspect by circumstance, but we should cover him in fairness to the rest. Marshall wrote his sample right-handed. Great. And it has a fairly small shoe size. So he kind of matches the Gurney dude. I must say that his handwriting was truly terrible. As bad as Kellogg's, if not worse. Don't tell him I said that. So they both had bad handwriting. Marshall's the impromptu sheriff of this wagon train. He's the one that's been keeping the bandits at bay. Though depending on who you ask, he's not doing the best of job. Okay. Interview. Let's look at the evidence. I've assembled all the evidence. Let's look at the crime scene. The body of a middle-aged man lies face down in the mud. His fatal wound clearly visible in the center of his back. Well, so the center of his back means it wouldn't have come from an angle. The body is sunk deeply into the mud. So it's been sitting there. Several boot prints are scattered about the mud. Only one distinct set stands out of average size. Well, the only average was Gareth, right? And Kellogg. The man's clothes are intact except for some stains from the rain and scattered mud. There are no injuries anywhere other than the fatal one in his back. It's unlikely that he fought against his attacker. Nothing else about the crime scene stands out. Estimate his time of death to be about 8:30 last night. There's a lot to this. Clean stab wound. The footprints make for a difficult clue. Unfortunately, the only footprints that are visible are those made by the rain after the rain had started. Okay. So that means it happened when it wasn't raining. So the boot tracks may not matter. Okay. I don't think my notepad's big enough to write down clues for this. Look at me trying to be a goody-goody. We found a letter on Elias's body, but it was so rain damaged as to be illegible. So there's a bit gleaned from it. The handwriting was messy, but it certainly wasn't written by Elias's hand. I'm thinking one of the two dudes with bad handwriting may have planted that. That's already my thought. You ask me, this is our motive. The killer wasn't able to retrieve it, though I can't say why. From what we can make out, it looks like it's addressed to an external party rather than someone from the train. This is likely how our mole was communicating with the bandits. Unfortunately, the rain did them a favor. It's not much use to us now. Okay, the murder weapon. Elias was killed with a single thrust from this knife. Of that much I'm certain. It's a standard hunting blade that can be found anywhere, with one distinct feature. It's been customized to have a left-handed grip. That's our biggest clue. Well, the only person that had left-handed with average boots is Gareth. Gareth is actually the only left-handed person. And he had average boots. As I said, the knife is otherwise unremarkable. The blade itself isn't wrapped at all. It's unlikely that Elias fought back. The position of his body also supports this. The untarnished condition of the blade also suggests that it was used efficiently, which means our killer was almost certainly left-handed. Okay. Let's interview them. Let's start with Quill. Can I help you? Alibi? Let me think. I went to bed early, around 7 o'clock. Okay, so Quill was kind of asleep. Perhaps I'd only arrived in the morning before, so I was still tired. Certainly not in the mood to be wandering about or conversing with anybody. Couldn't fall asleep for some time. I heard gunshots at one point, but it wasn't until after the rain had started that I managed to fall asleep. The rain started after the murder, so he was awake for it. I'm a reporter. Elias and I only had spoken once, yesterday morning, in fact. He told me he had news to share, but he had to procure evidence first. Frankly, I was and remained baffled. I don't know what news he was talking about or what evidence he was attempting to produce. Probably that letter. Will Peabody is a tall, thin, well-dressed man. He seems bothered by the rain, and his eyes are nervously darting around the gathered group. I don't know, suspicious. Oh, Gareth, Mr. Mustache. Let's see, I was preparing dinner for us in the wagon when I glanced around to see Elias talking to somebody. That would have been around 7:30. Okay, that's, that'd have been at 7:30. He never came back. Since it started raining, I went out to check on him. This would have been about 9 o'clock and found him lying in the mud. So he's saying the rain started at 9. Hope you catch the killer soon. I'll do anything I can to help. There's something fishy about that, because they said the rain didn't start till after all that. I've worked for the man. I was a valet, chef, attendant, so forth. I resolved matters he hadn't time nor stomach to solve for himself. Gareth is an enormous, imposing man. He looks like a servant and more like a bodyguard or soldier. He's well dressed and maintains a neat composure in spite of the rain. So he's really not dirty. So if he's not dirty, was he even out in the rain? Kellogg is also maybe one. I was out of the camp practicing my aim. No idea what time it was, but I wrapped up and came back. So there's your gunshots. On the way, I passed where Elias died. Though it was dark enough, I couldn't see anything. I did notice some fella scurry off in a hurry, but I can't give you much information than that. My money's on whoever that was being the killer. Okay, so he's shot, and that's what Gareth heard, I think. Or not Gareth, but Quill. Elias saw the fellow around time and again, but I didn't care to know him, and he didn't care to know me. He was wanting to get involved with shady folk like myself, so our paths hardly ever crossed. Not much else to say. Kellogg is a vicious-looking man whose hands are never far from his holsters. It's evident that he spent plenty of time outside of civilization and outside the law. A large, fresh bruise adorns the right side of his face. Oh. If it's on the right side of his face, that means he got punched by a left hand. And he also was shooting his gun, so there's no mention of a knife. Wondering about the bruise? Well, I've got Marshall to thank for that one. The two of us ain't exactly friends, but hitting me was a first. Not quite sure what I've done to deserve it. You'll have to ask him. Wait a second. Marshall is right-handed. So Kellogg could be lying. Okay, if I'm fighting somebody, yeah, if they punched me on the right side, they'd have to hit me with their left. Let's check out Gurney here. Oh yes, what is it? I was relaxing in my wagon, is what I'd be doing right now if you weren't accosting me. At one point, I heard gunshots. I went outside to see what the noise was and didn't see anything unusual. That was exactly 8 o'clock. So one said... I think he said 7-2. So this is Gurney. So he heard gunshots at 8. The one said 7. Being alone. I knew almost nothing about Elliot, or Elias, or whatever his name was. We were companions of circumstance. I don't believe we ever conversed. Yes, what is it? Gurney is a thin, stern-looking man. A golden pocket watch hangs at his waist. Oh, yes. Oh, well, that's nothing on him. I'm not doing a good job at looking at clues. All right, Marshall. How can I help? Alibi. I saw Kellogg heading off with his guns at the ready, so I decided to follow him. That must have been around 8:30. Wait a second. So that's after what people are saying. Unfortunately, the rain made it hard to follow him, so I returned. Wait, it wasn't raining yet, so he's lying about the rain. Because the rain didn't happen until after the murder, which was 9 or 10. By the time I made it back here, Elias was dead. You ask me, it's no mystery who did the deed. Elias was the man who hired me to lead the caravan. He was a man with demons, like any of us, but maintained his honor as long as I knew him. What happened to him is a damn shame. Marshall is a sturdy, stout man with a confident posture and grand, tidy beard. His clothes are immaculate. The only note of disorder is a large purple-blue bruise adorning his left hand. That's from punching the dude. Now, did I write that down? Is he really left-handed? Did I just do this wrong? Hit Kellogg. Saw that, did you? Well, I'll make no excuse. I hit him, all right. You ask me, it's not even half of what he deserves for killing Elias. What do you think that was, Kellogg? Not much for detective work, are you? His shoe size fits found by the Elias's body. The blade used to kill a man was fitted with a left-handed grip. Kellogg is ambidextrous. He was also unaccounted for at the time of the murder. I'll make him pay for what he's done. Mark my words. There's something we're missing here. Right-handed. I feel like he's been lying, and he's not been really doing a good job on the bandits. He's the promptitude sheriff of the wagon train and rival of Kellogg Hardin. He wrote a messy sample right-handed. Okay, he's lying about his hand. He's left-handed. Because he saw Kellogg leave camp at 8:30. Okay, so Kellogg left camp. He was shooting. The one dude who's innocent, Quill, heard him out there shooting after 7. What did Gurney say? Gunshots at 8. So if the gunshots were at 8, there's no way that he was there. I think Marshall did it. All right, let's make an accusation. Do you know who it was, do you? Well, I won't leave you in suspense. I think it was Marshall Brennan. Marshall Brennan, really? Didn't you? Really, Marshall? Well, I suppose he's a suspect, same as others. His writing sample is right-handed, though. As far as we could tell, the killer is left-handed. I don't think he's right-handed. Is that on here? Evil twin, ambidextrous, use different one victim. Not right-handed. What do you mean not right-handed? I saw him write his sample myself. Do you have any evidence to suggest this? The bruise. No. Yeah, I guess it's where he punched him. Different writer. He was tired. Sample quality. I could say sample quality, but the bruise is on his left hand, and that's where he punched. Oh, I see. Kellogg's bruise is on the right side of his face, and Marshall's was on his left hand. Therefore, when he hit Kellogg, he swung with his left hand. There we go. Still, this isn't much to go on. For one, Marshall's has small feet. No prints of his size were found in the mud at the crime scene. Can you explain that? It started raining after the fact, so his prints would have got washed over. 2 killers, evil twin, through knife, different weapon. It wasn't money yet. It wasn't money. Why on earth do you think the ground wasn't money? Look at it. It wasn't raining yet. Ruin letter, bruise, special. It was dark. It wasn't raining. It wasn't raining at the time Elias was killed. I suppose that could add up, but if it hadn't been rain damage, why did the killer, Marshall, as you claim, leave the letter? Wasn't that the whole point of the murder? He was interrupted. Somebody come back, I bet, right? Interrupted, dark, can't read, tired. That, or if the other option was here that the guy had found it, I'm going to say he was interrupted. I see the killer was interrupted when Kellogg returned, so he didn't have time to retrieve the letter. But why? Why would Marshall kill Elias? He's got to be behind these people. Thefts, mastermind. I see Elias found a letter that Marshall had written to the thieves, detailing the wagon train supplies and guard routines. You claim that Marshall killed Elias to stop him from spreading the word. Is that correct? Yes. It pains me to say this, but everything you said adds up. I'll place Marshall in arrest and catch up with the captain when I can. Take my medallion. It might be worth something along the way. And we just leave. We just ruined some dude's life in a sling, and the wagon is wearing out. Well, that was a fun little case, though I could see how you could put the wrong answer, and if it makes you fail because of that, that would be kind of sad. All right, 12 miles. We got some fire. Oh my God. A terrible bang echoes from within the wagon, and Noah Get the Boat cries out in pain. Seems the harsh desert sun is igniting the powder within a rifle. It has misfired, and Noah Get in the boat the unlucky target. We'll treat him with some medicine. Who should treat the bullet wound? We'll let Hannah Montana. She seems best at this, even though she stinks. The bullet has struck Noah Get the Boat in his torso. Hannah Montana provides some medicine and bandages the wound tightly. Unfortunately, the bandages could barely stem the flow of blood. Noah Get the Boat will need a further medical attention or perhaps a miracle. Welp. Hopefully there's a doctor at Soda Springs, but something tells me there's not going to be one there. Just how bad is he? 15 days for the gunshot wound. Hopefully we can make it. We got to be close. It's not even showing me the number of days yet. I haven't really paid attention to the terrain here in the foreground has been changing. I feel like we took forever on that case. We're definitely going to have to stay here and rest a few days. Maybe trade for some clothes because Hannah Montana's not having a good day when it comes to the way she smells and looks and all that good stuff. These kids are back. I want that this little Mary. Even from yards away, hissing pools of naturally carbonated water could be seen bubbling forth. This is Soda Springs, a notable landmark for travelers and tourists alike. Now, we got some money, so hopefully they could pay for some medical bills. Travelers here clearly aren't shy about trying the famous bubbling spring water. Almost everyone inside has a bottle or cup in hand. Let's talk to Jane. Hello again, travelers. It's certainly amazing how often we meet on the trail. That must be, yeah, that's her mom. My little Mary has not stopped talking about you folks since we last met. You really left an impression on her. She keeps asking questions about your group, but I have to keep telling her I don't know. Perhaps she'll take the time to talk to her. I could use a quiet moment to catch up on some reading. She's just by the water. Don't worry, I've been keeping an eye on her to make sure she doesn't run off again. Jane points to the spring where little Mary is playfully splashing in the shallows. We'll talk to her. Hi, everyone. Mommy said I might see you again. Did you come to play in the water, too? Yeah. Yay, it's fun. You'll see. Mommy says you can use the water here to make a special drink. Can you show me how? Little Mary jumps in and splashes in the spring with joy, spraying the group with water. Sure. Party spent some time showing Little Mary how to make a carbonated drink from the spring water. Little Mary is eager to take a big gulp of the effervescent beverage. Wow, this is so good. The bubbles tickle my throat. Little Mary drinks the beverage with a speed and alacrity. Alacrity? Perhaps befitting someone twice her side. Isn't long before she begins to hiccup. Hiccup! My tummy feels... Little Mary clutches her stomach. Moments pass as she struggles against the inevitable. Blech. Oh my, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't tell Mommy that I did that. She will be upset about my bad manners. Little Mary frantically apologizes for her belch, looking thoroughly embarrassed. Okay. Charles. Water here is naturally carbonated, meaning it's got its bubbles in it. Try mixing it with a drink or two of your own. The party pours some of the spring water into their canteens, making it drinks of their own with a delicious soda. Travelers here clearly aren't shy about trying the famous bubbling spring water. Almost everybody in sight has a bottle or a cup in hand. That's right. Celinda Hines. She gonna complain? My, the soda springs are so pretty. Seems to spout at regular intervals. Feels good just to rest and not be jostled in the wagon all day. When I get to Oregon, I will have a soft feather bed and never sleep in a wagon again. Miles. I've heard it said that there are many cutoffs to taking to shorten a journey. By taking all the shortcuts, you could save many days on the trail. Why not? Saving time and provisions is worth the risk. Here's a young man who's after the back button. My job every day is to find wood to further cook fire. Sometimes it's very hard to find enough, so I store extra pieces in a box under the wagon. On the prairie, I gathered buffalo chips to burn when there wasn't any wood. This was Little Grimace's line in the old game. So they've like just split him up and everything. See, even the people who made this game knew that Little Grimace, or Grimace Jr. was bad. Let's try to trade. Flour, coffee, bullets, wheel grease. I may actually... 3. Let's see if we can haggle her here. We'll let Roy Boy try. All right. Oh yeah, I'll give her 2 medallions. Anybody? $5 per pelt. We've got 10. Let me haggle and see if we can get some more. We'll let G.I. Jane try. All right. We'll sell 5 of them. Double check and make sure I've not screwed that up. Yeah, we've still got 5 here. We've got 29 bullets. We're going to use one of these here, because we don't want anything to break while we're moving. Let's rest today. The wagon bed is rearranged in cozy sleeping space. No, get the boat is no longer exhausted. Excellent. Let's see if there's any other different trading today. Close, yes. Let's haggle with him. Let G.I. Jane try. Yes. If he'll take 1 button. Yes, there we go. All right, that was good. That was a very successful trading adventure. We'll go ahead and put some clothes on Hannah Montana. We'll save the rest. And let's depart. Once he heals from his gunshot wound, I'll speed up the pace, but not until then. We'll head into Fort Hall, which is a handsome fort. If we can get there, one character will get all stats plus 6. Collect meat. I bet this is a hunting ground, or that is. But we gotta go up here. We gotta do these dragoons, because the party leaves the wonders of Soda Spring behind. It's a relatively short stretch to the safety of Fort Hall, though the journey will be no less perilous. Fort Hall is 65 miles away. We've got the grease, so hopefully there's a bunny. G.I. Jane spots a wounded jackrabbit limping amidst the grass of the trail. A swift gunshot would put it out of its misery and provide a little food besides. Who should take the shot? Well, G.I. Jane, of course. I feel bad for it. Aww. It gave us 25 meat? Well, let's be honest. The bunny was injured. It needed to be put out of its misery. Consume 1,000 pounds of food on the trail achievement. All right, here's a dilapidated wagon. We'll send G.I. Jane up to get a wheel, maybe. Oh, the hygiene is awful right now. Might as well use these clothes. We're going to have to. Because everybody's in kind of rough shape when it comes to that. Oh, we got some gentlemen. Oh, here we go. It's the dude, the dragoon. It's Ralph L. Kilborn. Please help me. Move along, strangers. This man owes us a healthy sum of $50 to be exact. There's nothing to be gained by getting involved in this. Intervene. Now, just what you're planning. We'll pay the 50. Oh, you misunderstand. This was his debt before we considered accrued interest. He or ye still owes us 75. Sure. Huh. Well, this is very kind and very strange of you. We'll let the little fat man go. A pleasure doing business. Oh, thank you, thank you. Please take my medallion. I'll take a minute to compose myself and then find a captain. I don't think I'm cut out for this kind of journey. We'll go down here. We can't fish. We're getting very close to Fort Hall. Several discarded and broken crates set in the dust off the trail. They appear to be discovered. They do not appear to be been discarded deliberately, and it was maybe they fell from a previous. We'll search. Let's let one of them search. We'll let G.I. Jane look. We needed to see their numbers. 2. Okay. G.I. Jane spent some time wedging the broken crates open and searching them for supplies, and it's trail patience and care, but she is rewarded with a number of supplies. Herbal remedies. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Let's go in here and utilize some of this stuff. Wayfinding +1. You cannot. Oh, we're in an event. It says. I don't think we're in an event anymore. It also won't let me click on that fox. Oh, hunting. Oh, we can hunt here. We'll send, even though he's a bad shot, we'll send Noah get the boat out. Got it. 10 pounds. Boom! Oh my God, he like assassinated. Oh, good Lord. Okay, that's 50. That's some good meat right there. Jesus Deer has provided. You know, for having a 0, oh, I missed. There we go. 100 pounds is great. I hope he can carry it all. Though he was injured with a gunshot wound. That was probably bad to send him, wasn't it? Oh, he carried it all back somehow. Noah is a man. Okay, we're going to repack. I'm also going to use some of this herbal medicine on him. My wagon grease has expired. All right, almost to Fort Hall. Oh, we got some... Oh, is this the instrument people? Good to see you again. We've been listening to this bass player perform. He's quite good. Don't you dare make me carry his bass. More importantly, did you manage to bring our instruments? I'd quite like to get a move on. She walks by our dude with a gunshot wound. Everything seems to be in order. We'll see you at Fort Boise for the performance. Rosetta waves goodbye. It's Raymond. Hi there, the name is Raymond. I don't suppose you could spare some change for this old performer, could you? I'm just a few dollars short of some new boots, and I'm out of here for good. Raymond seems skilled at playing the bass. Invite to the band. Join a band at Fort Boise. Sorry, no can do. I'm giving up on music just as soon as I've earned a bit of coin. I'm going to go live in the mountains and start trapping furs. Then I'll be able to make a real fortune. Compliment his playing. You're a very talented musician, sir. Are you sure you want to give up on your playing? It would be such a shame for the world to never again hear such a fine performance as yours. That's very kind of you, but I'm afraid so. After these years of playing, I've earned nothing more than a callous fingers. At least in the mountains, I have a shot at making a real fortune. Raymond seems quite enchanted by the idea of mountain life. Express the desire for bass. Mention the cold. It's mighty cold up in those mountains, you know. I've heard stories of men who freeze to death in their sleep. I can't bear to imagine someone like that happening to you. Of course it's cold. That's why I got this thick coat. See? I got it secondhand from a real fur trapper. I admit it's probably seen better days, but I'm sure I can fix it up. Raymond is starting to sound a bit doubtful. Much to the party's frustration, Raymond is still holding out. Discuss clothes making. You'll be able to take care of your coat for many winters, I'm sure. Mountaineers are very experienced at hunting deer, skinning them, and tanning their hides, but you already know all about that. Well, it's not actually something I've done before, but I'm sure I could ask my friends to teach me. When Raymond mentions his friends, the party senses a weakness in his facade. Who should attempt to take advantage of it? Hannah Montana. You wouldn't have any friends in the mountains, Raymond. Not a one. You'd be alone for months with nobody to talk to. Do you understand? Hannah Montana delivers the final blow with calculated precision. I never thought of it like that. I was just imagining a big adventure. You're right. I really would be on my own. Raymond suddenly seems very pensive. Well, except for the bears and wolves. They could keep you company, I suppose. Are you much of an animal lover? All right, you made your point. I guess I'm not really cut out for mountain life after all. Here, you can have my coat. I don't think I'm going to need it. It smells a bit funny anyway. Clothes. Where did you say the band was from? Fort Boise? I wasn't planning on traveling that far with my double bass. Do you reckon you could carry it for me? If you're looking for other instruments, I hear there's a salesman who went to south at Snake River. I was going to meet with him myself to see how much I get for my double bass. But now, there's no need for that. I hope this thing doesn't take up like a cello's amount of space. It is. Okay, this isn't going to be that bad. And technically, I could use that other grease if I wanted to. But I'm banking that we're going to make it to Fort Hall before that transpires. We lost a lot of money on this voyage here to Fort Hall. Everybody's stinky again. I'm going to have to buy clothes here at the fort. That's all there is to it. It's a shame there's no place to take showers or anything through here. You know, for all the talk of all the blankets that we bought and stuff, we could make shirts and things out of that, but I don't see them. Without warning, the wagon is surrounded by a sandborn on the wind. What? We're right here. This is too much. Oh my God, that just... The sandstorm worsens, limiting vision and forcing the party to slow down. The party is coated in dusted sand. The air grows difficult to breathe. It tests the fortitude of traveling through it. We're literally at the fort and this happens. Just one little... It was a ninja sandstorm just to get us. As the imposing white-gray walls of Fort Hall rise into view, the clamor and hubbub of trade is already evident. Several tents surround the fort, many of which, no doubt, belong to the hopeful fur traders. Who would you like to heal? Noah, get the boat. Oh. You've unlocked a new journey, Bitter Winter. Oh, we got to do that to unlock the knives. Brave the harsh mountain weather to help Thompson find his companions in this brutal winter-themed challenge. Hunting knife and mountain man class. All right, we got more coffee back and some money. We've made the journey from Fort Laramie to Fort Hall. Congratulations, your party has reached Fort Hall. And she got some upper body strength. Look at that. "72 days thus far." Wow, it took us a long time to get here. Well, we did slow down there. Hey everybody, I'm Stephen Thomas. Subscribe if you have not. And if you enjoyed the video and you want to help the channel grow, all you got to do is hit that like button down below. Also, if you want to support the channel, there's a plethora of ways to do that down in the description. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.